Okay, hello, good evening, and welcome back to week 4 of the ECAC Overwatch 2 season. We have a great game going tonight. I'm your caster and for tonight, Observer Inferno, joined by my fellow caster, Althea. How are you feeling about these games tonight, Althea?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to look at these teams and how they get into it. Real quick, on the left blue, you have UNCC or University, North Carolina, and Charlotte out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And on the red team, we have Cumberland University out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Getting a quick start, Pugs from Charlotte, finding 2 to help Gumi.
Certainly do. I mean, we came out storming there from Charlotte. Taking that fight, we saw that venture from Pugs push the tank off on the side of Cumberland, giving Charlotte a pretty easy first victory here.
And now last week we did see Torbjorn play here. We're seeing he can with that too, but I just don't know how well it's going to be able to work in this Malga compared to the hazard that we saw last week. But I mean, Castro's curses, he finds one on the Kubrick, but I guess we'll have to see some interesting team comps. Definitely not too standard. You see Ginger swapping the Malga to match, but I mean, again, that Pugs on the venture isn't something too common that we've seen. Definitely shaking the meta just a bit, as well as
definitely
the
not.
Sims.
Yeah, we see both Sims coming out here. See the Torbjorn as well from ECAC. Cumberland University is going to be trying to take some space here. You see the Malgas laying into each other, putting down that damage, building their ults, building their support ults as well. Unable to find much here. You see stun as Weezer is going to dive into the back of Cumberland there and now get out. On the point, unfortunately falls to those Sim turrets.
I need help.
Yeah, these Sim picks are going back and forth.
Got you covered.
Pugs on Charlotte. Charlotte will maintain this. We're seeing Pugs just doing a phenomenal job keeping up this pressure, getting some amazing damage out every single fight. Looking for this environmental still. They're gonna probably want to rely on Nodi's TP to get around it. But we see a lot of
with that cage fight, he's going to set Venture up perfectly for that tectonic shot. We're seeing some ult dump here. Except for Gumi on the side of Charlotte, winning that fight in style and that first round here. What changes do you think Cumberland University is going to have to make in this second half here?
Score.
I mean, I really don't know. I think that venture pick was just causing a lot of issues being able to jump around there, especially like the environmentals help a lot, even when you have the Malga just up and down taking a lot of damage. We also didn't see like a lot of ult dumps there. That was mostly just kind of a sweep for Charlotte, getting set up with that Sim is hard to push into. And that's what we saw at the end there. So I was a little concerned as to why they were dumping 5 ults in that last fight, but I didn't even realize the point was already to 100% there. I mean, they just used everything they could to commit that, and Cumberland didn't even have their support ults up to answer that. However, we are going to see Cumberland trying to make some answers here with the Ramatra swap, as well as the Kiriko, Genji, and Soju. Quite a few team swaps. Maybe just looking to shake it up and see if this comp is going to work for them into this team.
Yeah, maybe just trying something out of the ordinary, seeing what sticks here. Getting pushed back pretty far here by Charlotte. Point's about to unlock it. We see the tank, as well as most of the members for Charlotte, fighting in this forward position here. Forkit finding a kill here. To be able to push back Cumberland and let Charlotte take this point.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Kartek to set up again with these Sim turrets, which is going to make the job just a little bit harder for Charlotte. But we're going to see them make some space, and it looks like we're just missing Weezer just doing their best to just dive into the back line and just cause disruption, push right past the tank. Yes, just seeing what they can get in the back. However, we see Ginger finding Pugs and Gummy.
Yeah, with a couple of picks from Cumberland. Leon Master, we see the Lucio. Stellar performance, getting a few picks there. Definitely assisting Cumberland University in getting that first point progress that they've had this map so far.
Yeah, I mean, Leon Master here is colorblind, but they know what the enemies look like, and we see them there doing their best to push up and get quite a few picks on the Lucio nonetheless. Building that support ult much quicker than last round definitely leaves Cumberland in a much better situation than last round. We'll see if they're able to hold it though as ults start coming down.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple ults now come down on this point. Kitsune rush from Bo5, as well as the beat drop from Leon Master is going to have Cumberland University sitting just fine. Doing plenty of damage with a huge shield. Tommy now responds with another huge sound there. Lucio's in the games are gone. Wonderful with that annihilation. Trying to counter everything on the back end of the fight. Saying anything about radius. Seemingly winning a point here now for Cumberland.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, I believe, 8 ults come out on either side there, leaving up just 2 DPS ults. Long exchange, but Cumberland is going to continue to come out on top. Very impressive from them. I think we did see somewhat of a wasted cage fight from Weezer, not finding too many members, forced to cancel it. They push on points straight and blade to end the fight. We're going to see.
Sojourn here. Pugs now on the tectonic shock, gonna be firing back. Both DPS unable to find much there though. You see tanks pushing point 99% for Cumberland University now. And with Gingerfield being able to find Weezer, Hyken finding Pugs, picks all over the place for Cumberland as they will cap the second point.
I mean, like we said at the start of this second point here, we see Phoenix swapping all of these characters, just hoping that this new synergy between them works with the map and the enemies they're going into. And we clearly see that it did there. Being able to just, I mean, they slipped up at the start, but we saw them really come back, play more together, play a little less spread out. Don't let Weezer get away with so much getting in that back line. And that allowed them to just take so much more control and get so much better picks. So many better picks.
Yeah, they definitely responded accurately. I mean, they made whatever calls they needed to make to start fighting into this team comp that Charlotte is running. And, I mean, they did it in pretty good fashion there, taking that point 100 to, I'm not quite sure what Charlotte had there.
It was 25.
Yeah, definitely a bit more one-sided there. Pugs almost pushing Naughty off. Does have that dash to come back. Gets shut down in the back line of Cumberland now. See a tank fight near this point now. And with the point unlocking, Weezer had to run off very low. Healed up by the support of Charlotte now before coming back in.
We're seeing Cumberland just snap back even more so. These are just doing everything that they can to pump damage and that blocking and Ramach and everything, just taking so much damage, but when you're not targeting the supports, it's going to be pretty hard to kill a Ramacha like that, and we see that there as Charlotte just continue to get ran down and pushed back as Cumberland is still maintaining their lead from the last map. We haven't seen any swaps from Charlotte either, so they're gonna need to change the way they play, maybe the ultimate usage that they're using, who they're prioritizing every fight. If they're not switching their heroes, they need to switch their gameplay in order to get back in this. It looks like they're TPing into the back line for hopes, but Par of Soap immediately gonna shut that down.
Yeah, that was a really great shot, finding that pick early on. Charlotte started this fight down. Par of Soap starting off and ending this fight with a headshot. Great stuff. We love to see it from the Kiriko, getting those, we'll say calculated headshots onto the enemies.
Yeah, Yeah, now we are seeing Kartik here. He's making the swap to the Pharah. I don't see Phoenix with too many hit scans either, not with any at that matter, except for maybe this overclock on the flank.
Yeah, there we go. Coming out, unable to find much. We have an absolute brawl on point. Both tank ults as well as some of the support ults coming down. It seems like Charlotte's gonna pull away with it.
How's it going?
Maybe just press Q just a little bit better than Cumberland University did there in that fight.
Yeah, I mean that was a fairly mirrored fight in favor of ults. We didn't see ECAC get too much either. A little off fight, but that was a DPS, a support, and a tank to either team. I think Charlotte had better utility between them.
We'll see that beat drop come out from either side, keeping everyone alive. But now Naughty, once that Genji gets back up, is gonna have a free ultimate. Knowing that Charlotte does not have the support ult now. And Weezer, falling critically low, will get caught. Naughty now using that blade. He expected kind of easy picks. Charlotte not going down without a fight though. Kartik and Gummy doing great work.
Oh no! I think
Fortunately, no.
yeah, we saw Kartik just struggling to touch theirs. They missed the Pharah ability to move and just messed up.
Play of the game.
But that is going to be the first point, first map in favor of CU Phoenix. We see some nice environmental kills here from Gummy. I think that was a decent first map from both teams. I mean, we saw Charlotte doing a decent job. However, just I think barely being able to keep up once the point swapped. Just we see Phoenix make the swaps to their team in general. And their team comp, and it shows that CU has responses to what Charlotte does, but we didn't see too much from Charlotte. I mean, we saw. I believe we really only saw the one Pharah swap at the very end, which, I mean, we didn't get too much value out of. I think it was only there for about one major team fight and then the end of the game. So I think we just need to see Charlotte kind of react a little quicker to that, especially when that was almost 2 full points where they had time to react but didn't. I do definitely think, though, that they do have the power. We saw what they were capable of when they did have a working team comp with good synergy, when they are able to set up with that Symmetra and play aggressively and use the environment to their advantage. But I think CU Phoenix just kind of did a great job of adapting to it there on that map.
Absolutely, and we're gonna see if they if we see Charlotte here now respond with some swaps of their own on this next map. I believe they are just picking which map it is going to be, and then we should be getting right in. I do expect to see hybrid. Oh, yep, there we go, a King's Row swap here. But I do expect to see that Mauga play possibly from Charlotte again. Phoenix, Cumberland University seemed really comfortable on that Ramatra pick as well. So it wouldn't be too surprising if we see the tanks, a pretty similar tank situation in this next map here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, in the player notes, we see that Ginger is very familiar with the Junker Queen, which we saw them trying to run at the start. I do think that they would be able to sort of have a better job running that too on the attack on King's Row and such. It's important to note that these teams did switch sides, I believe. Make sure you're tracking that all right on your own
Did
end.
make a quick swap there. Team should display correctly on the display now. But yeah, King's Row, pretty standard. See this map pretty often. Pretty solid hybrid map here.
Yeah,
we like to see those long-range DPS on the defense sometimes. Sit up on that high ground. I'm curious to see if Pugs is going to pull out that venture again on the maybe attack here on instead of defense venture. Maybe favoring it on the attack here wouldn't be maybe the worst hero.
Yeah, I mean, I think what this map really comes down to, you can really judge how you think the teams are going to do based off of the first point and how they play it. Like if they're going to play up really far into the choke, or if they're going to have like their tank on the low ground and the supports up on the high, DPS on the high ground, just how they're positioning themselves that really portrays like how they want to play the entirety of their match. If they want their supports in the back line holding a heavy front, or if they really want to play together. And I do think that right now the current Overwatch meta is for the most part a very brawl-esque attack, even on the defense, especially with Hazard just doing a phenomenal job at that. Like I said, I think same goes for the attack, where if we see them kind of holding this choke, or if they're just going to take a really fast flank around the high ground or just dive on point, or if they're going to opt for the more long range type option. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see how those two kind of play styles are going to overlap. For example, if the defensive team is playing the supports on the high ground, you likely will have the struggle of your team just diving point, because your supports are going to be exposed to the team while theirs are safe. So I think that the attack team on King's Row has to have very good adaptability. And I mean, that's something that we did see Cumberland able to do. So hopefully we can see Charlotte apply the same thing here.
Yeah, as now we will be getting into the
Now
map.
entering
We can see if they do
King's Row.
just that.
Initiating match.
Alright. It should just take a few seconds here. We'll start to see these comps, or at least what they're thinking of running here. We do see, I believe, Charlotte on the attack here. And it is going to be Cumberland on the defense.
Yeah, I believe so. Charlotte on attack, Cumberland defense. Cumberland coming off the back of that first win with, again, a fairly surprising and different team comp. I mean, Ash is expected very strong on the high ground. The Torbjorn turret will be interesting to see as well.
It certainly will be.
Follow the rules, and we
I'm not sure what's up with it recently. Maybe I've been keeping up too much up to date with Overwatch. That Torbjorn, we're seeing a lot of Torbjorn now.
A mass
Couple
vigilante has
plays.
been running
I'm liking it. I'm loving it.
Well,
We'll see if
let's hope this
Naughty
is
here
accurate.
is going to be able to pop off or not.
I think
Oh,
it'll
we do
play
see-
good into that Malga that we see Weezer playing. We're going to see Pug swap in the venture too.
Yep. Yeah, like I was saying, it
think-
wouldn't surprise me.
I think we are going to see this type of play where we have the supports and DPS on the high ground. This single Alyssa just pushing the point. This is something we've seen before. We're actually seeing Pugs just trying to stare off Nodi on the side.
Yeah, now they're in
not
a
afraid.
heated brawl here. Oh, but Pugs gets caught out-rotated. Takes the wrong door, ends up on the wrong side, and gets picked.
Yeah, very good from Cumberland. Some nice picks. We saw Charlotte just a little spread out push into that. Hopefully they can push in a little more queued up. However, we see Kartik, we see Weezer falling pretty early, as well as Kartik on the Pharah. I think is going to really struggle against this, I mean, almost full hit scan comp that Cumberland's running, not like the Ash, the Juno, and Ana is going to be tough, not to mention the Torb turret. Yeah, we're going to swap to that Widow to try to take care of the backline supports instead. Definitely going to be able to get more value from that.
Yeah, definitely going to try to just get a pick, set the team up, being 5-4. Ends up getting picked by the Torbjorn, taking care of business, doing what he has to do. Box now. Pugs will get caught. members of Charlotte taking that high ground, but being down a few members, it's just going to be so hard to fight into this team that is so grouped up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, defense on this map, it really comes down to just the type of positioning that these teams are running. And I think that Ana, Ashe, and that backline is just so hard to deal with. You need the exact right team and the just perfect team play for it. And I think we're seeing Charlotte just a little too spread out. I mean, we see Kartik playing in that backline on the Widow, doing what they can, but all it takes is one sight of the Widow to know how to deal with it. You can either hide around the corner out of sight or just send Naughty in the backline to take care of it. We are seeing a different approach from Charlotte.
Yeah, we have quite the push from Charlotte. Put a Bob on the side of Ken. He's going to shut everyone down. A few picks on the back end of that fight going Charlotte's way, but I believe the majority is Cumberland University.
Yeah, we saw a very nice anti from Bar of Soap, I believe, on the Necromancer at the start. We really put them out of the fight pretty early. When you're down a support like that, Peter's not left with too many options.
Wow, we have a fight going down. The Malga cage with the Nano Orisa ult inside of it. That's gotta be scary. Couple picks now, but it seems like Charlotte is in favor here. Just a few more DPS to clean up before they can start capping this point now. Great fight.
It looks like they're gonna cap this point with about 20 seconds left on the clock. Just really saving everything they needed for that last fight and finding some nice picks. I think Cumberland was just a little spread out from the last fight, trying to recover that they caught them with their while they were down and were able to capitalize on it. However, we see Charlotte snapping back quick, already aggressive, all an immediate pick on the Charlotte's tank. And Kartik falling and Nodi picking up pugs on the way out.
Yeah, that was a pretty fierce just pushback from the side of Cumberland, killing that tank immediately, and then a few more picks as well. Set them up pretty good. You see Weezer swapping to that Ramatra now.
Not sure what specifically they want from that. I don't think. I mean, I think your survivability is going to drop down with the Malga. I mean, you're not going to get those crits anymore, so that Orisa is hard for Malga. But I'm really not sure what the thought for that is. Maybe just it's a safer swap in general, but there isn't a direct counter for Orisa as Ramatra.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going for. It seems to be just a head-on collision here on card. No one's really able to make space. You see Pugs finally pop that Genji Blade, find a few picks with it as well. Gingerfield finds a few in the end though. Gonna respond those picks with picks of their own. Still being kept alive, but ducking around that cage. Unable to stay full field. As Charlotte will now drive the nail in and will get this payload pushing.
Hello, greetings.
Yeah, I think, I mean, again, I think the question comes down to why specifically the Ramatra, and I think, like you said, it just does allow them to play a lot more aggressively. Malga, I mean, it's similar to Orion charging into the back line. That's all you really have is just going in and shooting. But I think Ramatra is a little more damage for the whole team or a single target, yeah. And I think it does kind of pull UNCC together more, especially with the Annihilation coming.
Yeah, we see that Annihilation now coming down, hitting in that orbital ray. Gonna get shredded by the team of Cumberland. Everyone pushing out now. Now it's a game of stagger the Juno. Hammer kill. Can we see it?
Oh,
there it is. Naughty delivering with the hammer kill. Around 10 seconds left in the match.
That's going to be a tough stagger. Whoa.
And that will
This
be it.
ends now.
See those contest swaps, but not going to make it as Phoenix Cumberland
Score.
clean up Charlotte on the attack and hold them at the second point here. phenomenal hold from them. I'm surprised they,
Initiating match.
or I should say, I'm surprised Charlotte was able to get through that first point with just how well Cumberland was playing together there. Although they did get some great picks and great ultimate usage, and were able to really play off the backs of when there was a crack in their hold, to say. And I think it'll be interesting to see what it'll be like with these tables swapped here. If Charlotte's gonna have that similar lineup on the defense of the backline supports and everything, or if they're gonna kind of run for a more dive-oriented defense somehow. And I mean, already I don't like to jinx it by talking about who they're picking in spawn, but we're seeing a diva, which is leaning in favor of that dive type comp.
Yeah, we're gonna see a pretty standard defense here. We do see Pugs running that venture still, not deterred by.
And we couldn't
being
do
the
it
venture
without
on the
ironclad
defense here.
tools.
Gonna pick up the Torb as well. Liking the Torb that we're seeing. Don't know where
Yeah,
they
we're
have
also-
their turret set up. Not up yet,
I was
actually.
gonna say something important to mention is we don't typically see a Lucio on defense for this map, just because usually having the utility of an Ana or a Juno is, oh,
That could be
it's
another
just, I was
reason
gonna
why
say it's
no
just so
Lucio-
much better, but I guess it's just free picks. But you know what, Goonie can come back quick.
Yeah,
We're already
collapsing on this point though. Charlotte was in disarray for a minute, but now it seems they've reinvigorated, got their footing now, and are ready to fight back. Letting only a tick go for a major pushback inside of Charlotte. Fighting inside here. I'm gonna let Naughty out. Not able to get anything done. Cumberland looked really strong in the beginning there, and Charlotte just flipped the script.
we saw them get that quarter to that point, but I mean, unironically, that Lucio can come back really quick, which allows the team to just play so much closer. And I think a big thing to point out is when Cumberland were pushing onto that point, Charlotte was very spread out, some were on high ground, some were in backline. If they're on point, the whole team was together. So that just really goes to show when Charlotte shines is when they're in a brawl type combat, all focusing on targets, stuff like that.
We see Pugs trying to make that execute onto the Widow. Unable to find anything. Now a little bit in enemy lines. Gonna have to find a way out. Guys are being popped from the weekend. Gonna allow Pugs to be caught. Towards the game focus. Naughty finding the kill. Cumberland seems to be getting their picks first before even trying to worry about it. Really good strategy here. Naughty popping off with I think 3 or 4 on that in that fight there.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think you can have a more perfect execution than that. You saw them use those sites, identify that Pugs was so out of like their location, very out of it, and allow them to get that easy pick. And then from there, you can see them physically calling their targets and then executing on it, calling the Juno, getting the Juno, calling the Lucio, getting the Lucio, and then just executing. And that was just a really, really clean play from Cumberland there.
I completely agree. We can see them definitely, the cohesion as a team, everyone working together really well. We do see Beezer swapping to that Winston. We're going to counter to Beezer falls though. Charlotte being down a tank. A couple ults are going to come out now. You see Naughty slashing away at the supports, even with that sound barrier up.
No support ults, 4 members down, and only about 11 meters to go. I don't know if we're going to see Charlotte contest this.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Yeah, we see Reaper coming out getting absolutely nuked.
Victory.
Yeah, I mean,
As Cumberland will
monkey-
take that one.
yeah, 1 monkey versus 5 people here is going to be tough, and like you said, we are going to see Cumberland taking the second map on Kings Row. Just showing phenomenal work. I believe this is going to be Naughty on this attack, just targeting one member after another. Supports, the DPS, and then the tank. Just the perfect way to execute. We did see Charlotte, though, with some decent comeback moments, but I think that we're just seeing Cumberland play together a little more and just have a little more team synergy that we need to see Charlotte adapt into their plays. I think as well as possibly their ults, we're seeing like Necromancer and Gummy going down with the support ults maybe a little too often, and I think it's really up to them to weigh whether or not it's worth losing your support and saving it for the next fight and just come back, or if you just want to commit that ult to stay alive and hopefully just with the man up advantage you can win.
Yeah, that could also be why we saw some of those widow swaps there too. Just trying to get that man up advantage, like you were saying. It's pretty devastating, especially now in Overwatch 2, just being the 5v5. Just lowering that even to a 5v4 is just devastating for one team, and it's really hard to fight into sometimes. But it just looked like Cumberland had the upper hand there throughout most of that map there.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to get a swap for Charlotte. I believe we're switching out Ghost for Necromancer here. Maybe just, I believe that's a support swap too, so maybe just looking for a more aggressive type pick or maybe just a different utility type character.
Yeah. Definitely could be. We look to be getting into Runa Sapi here for our push map.
Yep. Again, fairly common push map here. I mean, not too many options, but it's decent. And I believe what we've been seeing more recently has been the hazard picks on this map. Again, fairly I believe it was a fairly common hazard meta, but we have seen some of these teams really swap it up. So this season of Overwatch in general has been interesting because we have, I want to say we've seen almost a different comp and different strategies for each of these teams, which is exactly what you want to get from these games and just see how these teams adapt to each other and how they interact instead of just the same copy and paste meta that you get typically.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, both of these teams have not been running quote unquote the meta comps that we have seen. Usually with that hazard, you see the Sojourn Genji.
Well, we have seen the
like
one.
Which one?
I was gonna say we have seen the one really common meta pick that we know for sure of the Torbjorn. Like that's undisputed
obviously.
The strongest.
If your team doesn't have a Torbjorn in 2025, you need a new team, or you need to pick up Torbjorn. I mean, it's one of the two.
Yeah,
you need that Torbjorn. But yeah, either of these teams not really running the meta. Definitely some off-meta picks and pretty awesome games so far from it. It does get a little boring with just meta cookie cutter team comps, map after map.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the most excited thing I am for this game so far is starting out immediately on Kings Row with a few picks from a Venture and just seeing that Venture pick. I believe almost every map now. Definitely not a common one, but they are a very fun character, and it's nice to see them playing.
Yeah, Pug's really showing off the Pug's really showing off the Venture skill there, the mechanics. Pretty strong in all these fights. I believe we're just taking a quick second to get into this one.
Yeah, now for these two teams, what I'm expecting is I do think that we have seen these attack defense type comps for both of them. However, I think what we can expect is, I think for Ginger, I think this is probably the highest chance that we'll see that Junker Queen. And I think for Weezer, we might see that Malga again, maybe the Ramatra. But I guess we'll have to see. Both these teams have given us quite a few surprises, so I think it comes down to what they pick, and then I think whatever team wins off of those, what the other team's able to do to adapt to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see in these team fights the targeting priority, who's getting those picks, where these ultimates are going, who's throwing that util down.
Ready for battle.
Ooh, we do see
I mean,
some,
talking of
comps
surprises,
here. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that
good
May pick that we're seeing
Mm.
from Charlotte, that was at least last season a very common pick.
True.
What you almost wanted to do, and even especially Kings Row, probably at the highest pick rate, was just getting that May pick and walling off tank and everything. So I think it's cool to see that again. However, on Phoenix Cumberland, seeing that Zarya, nonetheless the Reaper and Soldier,
5,
not a common
4,
pick.
3,
Juno Brig definitely
1.
strongest supports right now, but
Objective
I'm
unlocks
more
in
surprised
30
to see
seconds.
the combination here. I think that Reaper is going to play really well into the Mauga too,
Yeah.
but the Soldier, I'm just not sure how it'll do.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a gas pick into this team comp, but we're going to see whether Ken can do something here. Now on that the back line of Charlotte, laying down some aggressive fire. Seems like most of the fight is going on behind a wall that there's not enough access. Body now finding picks. They're looking for this juicy Malgan to just start shredding with their shotgun. Oh, but gets moved off the map by Pugs. Not gonna let it happen. Not to their support.
Wow.
No way, says
Come on, Val.
Pugs.
We gotta move.
Yeah, that was
Great
surprising. Nodi had a wonderful flank there, finding one, and then I thought Nodi was going to find Gummy there as well, but not if Pugs has anything to say about it. And I think off the back of that play, we are going to see a couple of swaps with Echo and Ginger swapping to that Malga as well.
You see the Malgan here now as well. Get down Synchro, finding that pick.
Keeping the heat on.
Kills are still coming down in favor of Charlotte. Cumberland University seems to just not have gotten their footing down in this game yet.
Yeah, Charlotte is just continuing to push this as they get this forward spawn halfway, and we're not seeing too much contest from Cumberland yet. As I believe, did Bar of Soap swap? Yeah, they were great because they have that biggest on the team. So there is some mirror matchups for the supports. However, this Blizzard will be the brothers to throw.
Death drop, unable to find anything else. Forcing out a few of those support ults and a tectonic shot as well. Orbital Rogue comes down from Leon Master. Maybe in the back end of the fight. Unable to find too much, but
Engage.
Ken,
May.
still up. We have a May 1v1.
All systems on optimal level.
Great stuff from the Echo player.
He's gonna win that May 1v1 there with a beautiful frog skin too. Saw some very nice picks. Venture fight too into an Echo was tough. So we are gonna see Cumberland make their first touch on this. No distance capped yet.
Start to get this robot back. Now crossing that midpoint. Fight's gonna go down. Weaver's gonna start it off with that cage fight. Trying to trap as many members of Cumberland in as he can. Picks going down now. In favor of Charlotte. I guess for no surprise, starting off with a couple of those ults.
Yeah, we're seeing Charlotte leaning back up there, using using two of those ults, very helpful. Cumberland not having much to answer with. As to see them just continuing to push up. I think something that kind of struggling here is target priorities.
Using Synchro, using that blizzard right before they died though. I think I'm able to catch anything.
This tin can's coming.
Oh, the burn will kill the Juno as well. Cumberland will now find the picks they need.
Yeah, now they're finally able to again push back and take this going. However, I will say that I do believe, like I said, the choice of pick for Team Cumberland's DPS fall last. Oh, the Ajax on Gummy.
That's so unfortunate. Getting caught by Naughty's Death Blossom into the Ajax is just sad to see.
Prepare for duplication.
Yeah, I made the mistake of talking right as they got into that fight way quicker than I was expecting.
Yeah, that was they
Uh,
cracked
very
off
nice.
immediately.
Yeah, very nice Death Blossom there from Nodi. Finding Gummy as well to cut that out. Oh.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
The May 1v1 again?
Bringing out the May. Gets counterwalled though.
I don't know if we'll see a blizzard from that. In Cumberland, take back their space. Oh, but they get the blizzard down just for that slight control of the map as well. Not too much there. That might give them the space they need to take the lead.
Just built by Weezer. Now coming out. Got the members, but falling. But it still sets up the rest of his team for victory.
Yeah, with just about a 3 meter difference. We are going to see Charlotte able to take this back. A little scary. And Cumberland's going to have to work extra hard to make this one happen, especially with the slight lack of ults they have. Or I guess they do have the advantage. They're building up to that cage fight. They do have the Kitsune Rush, and those are two powerful ultimates they can use. However, Synchro does have this Blizzard, which could completely shut everything down. Such as that.
Immediately.
I think we just saw the Mauga's cage fight get cancelled by getting frozen.
Is that so? I did not catch that, but you might be correct. As they're at like 0% now, we did not see it. I think you're right. That is perfect timing then from Synchro on that mail.
Yeah, Pugs is just getting really pressured by Hyken on the Echo. Just getting all those sticky bombs on him. I think we might see the same thing again here. Looking for this flank.
Iconic shot coming out. Reaper will wraith away. It looks like Pugs is not going to be able to find anything.
Cumberland.
Back and forth.
Round 2, Gummy does get that beat in the middle of Nodi's ult. He's not able to find it again. You see Hyken copying this Mauga.
Oh, what a slam from the top!
Slam dunk.
Awesome. Using that ultimate, getting the ammo refresh. Finding a few more picks. Hyken doing great work in this fight.
Yeah, that was a wonderful performance from Hyken, going in, copying that Mauga, just doing a little loop around, jumping down from the high ground, finding Weezer, followed up by the supports, and just cleaning up. Wonderful play from them. However, looking at the ults, I mean, again, they're building up to this cage fight and Kitsune Rush, but this is Charlotte with a lot more to work with. You know what? That's an early orbital ray, and the team can just fall back and answer with this Kitsune Rush. A lot more to work off of.
And it's looking closer. We're playing a ring around the rosy with the Malgas here. Cage fight comes down from Ginger. But is he trapped with them or are they trapped with him? Kill does come down. Both tanks now
Yeah, no.
picked.
I was a little worried because we saw Ginger not finding much there. However, we saw Hyken jump in the back and find some phenomenal
Engaged.
picks in the back.
Venture.
Again, with this Echo, just having it up every fight. And Replicate is playing really aggressive.
Thorn in the side, but will miss the getaway.
A little too much, but
Stomp from the top again. Now the dash getting used quite a lot here. Throw it in, getting dirty with it. It seems like Charlotte will come out victorious of that fight, but they still have to push this spot all the way back and then some to take the lead off of Cumberland here.
yeah, I mean, they have about, I believe, 19 meters, 20 meters to go. They're going to have to push through about 2 or 3 fights to get there.
Oh, but Ginger will fall. Or Ginger will get the pick on the rebound. Sorry. Cumberland up. And with that orbital ray from Leon, I'm not sure if Charlotte has a way of winning this one.
Last chance. Make it
Yeah, we're going to see a wonderful picks from Ginger there at the very end to bring this map and, I believe, series to a close in favor of Cumberland. There's going to be a 3-0 victory for them, doing a phenomenal job being able to snap back there. I think I'm gonna put the MVP for that map there on the Hyken. We saw Ginger doing a lot of pressure with that Malga, getting some great picks here. I mean, look at this. I believe this is a 4K right there at the end, or maybe 5. But we saw Hyken just getting so much value, really putting the man advantage in favor of Phoenix every single fight there. I do think Charlotte definitely had some power. They were winning a majority of that first map, being able to do well, but I think similar to the past few maps, they would start winning. Phoenix would, I guess, start struggling, but they would make some swaps and they would adapt, and Charlotte just wouldn't be able to commit anything new to it and would just succumb to, I guess, Cumberland's adaptations and fall.
Yeah, it just seemed
But-
like Cumberland did just have that attrition there, especially on that push, going the distance. I mean, the time bank did run out. No team pushing it all the way. But Cumberland did just get a little bit further, and Charlotte unable to push back. But GG's to both teams. Great matchup here. We saw some really great plays from both teams. It really was just a great game all around.
Yeah, definitely exciting to see some awesome moments. I mean, we saw a couple ultimate cancels. We saw an Ajax. Very exciting match. Good job to both teams, and congratulations to Cumberland University Phoenix for the win. I've been Althea, one of your casters, joined by Inferno, who is our other caster and observer for this week, as Beldia's gone. But yeah, we should be back next week for our next game. We hope to see you guys there. Any final words from you, Inferno?
No, that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, we will be back next week. Don't forget to tune in to the other ECAC streams throughout the week. And I think that's it for us.
All right. Thank you. See you guys next week.
Yep. Good night.